So, contrary to popular belief, eating healthy is actually cheaper than not eating healthy. I can already hear some of y'all saying bullshit. And look, the thing that I deem as healthy is literally fruits, vegetables, and tree nuts, right? So I'm not talking about lean meats. I'm not talking about fish. I'm not talking about anything else other than fruits, vegetables, and tree nuts. Quite literally, we can get a vast majority and actually all of the actual vitamins and nutrients that we need from things of that nature. Now, it will be harder to actually get all the vitamins and nutrients that we need from that stuff, just the fruits, veggies, and tree nuts and stuff. It is definitely harder. There's no question about that. But purely from a financial standpoint, it is actually literally cheaper in order to get your nutrients from the sources that I just said. So yeah, financially, that's just a fact. And the reason I'm even talking about this topic is for two reasons. One, I know I could be healthier in general. And two, because at the end of the day, I do know some people. I know a good friend of mine, whose father isn't doing so good. So I would wish to at least say things that I feel like could actually have a positive impact on his life and his health in general. On top of that, my own family in general, I lost my dad because he ate whatever he wanted. So I'm just gonna say it like this, bro. Number one thing to never eat again, bro, real talk, lunch meats. Lunch meats is absolute delicious, but it's also like the worst type of meat that you could ever eat. And it's really because of the way it's made, because meat already naturally has salt in it, but the fact is they put extra salt to preserve the lunch meat. And then on top of that, they put all these nitrites in there, and those nitrites are literally carcinogen, whatever they cause cancer. So with that being said, and I'm talking about like top tier, it's like the easiest way to get messed up, and that's why a lot of people actually do end up getting colon cancer because they just be messing with the lunch meats. The lunch meats are genuinely too expensive to be even messing around with. The only reason they're so expensive is because how good they taste and that people will pay for it. That's it. So that's literally the number one thing I would say: never eat again. And if you actually cut lunch meats out, obviously it'll be good for your health, but on top of it, it'll literally help your wallet financially. So if you were to legit replace, like, lunch meat costs like $7 just for the basic one, not no organic stuff, just basic lunch meat. Like, it's the craziest stuff, bro. Like, obviously bologna will be cheaper because that's like the dirt cheap version of lunch meat. I'm talking about like the Myers. I don't know if it's called Myers, but regardless, lunch meat is very expensive. My dad used to buy that stuff all the time. And obviously, you're not just buying lunch meat, but you're also buying bread, cheese, mayo, and pickles, whatever you want to put on there, right? So all that stuff together, just for like maybe 8 sandwiches, it's gonna end up running you like at least very bare minimum $22 before taxes. So if you replace lunch meats with literally apples and oranges and bananas, first things first, it's cheaper, and really first things first, it's healthier. But second thing is much cheaper. So even like if you went for the organic bag of apples, or that's like $6, and an organic bag of oranges that's $7, and then organic bananas are still dirt cheap at $2. So right then and there, you get a whole lot of potassium, you get a whole lot of fiber, you get a whole lot of vitamin C, and you get a whole lot of nutrients, and you get a whole lot of health, and a whole lot of not cancer. Um, so I wasn't supposed to say the C word, but I've been saying it. So if this video gets taken down, you guys understand. You guys saw it first, so it's up to you guys to understand. But hey man, that's just a fact of the matter. The funny thing is, at the end of the day, you could even throw in like some avocado toast with the money that you'd be saving by not buying lunch meat and all the things that come with it. You could get some avocado. You could still get the bread, and then you could get some avocados. Get some now seasonings. Now that's what costs money. Because I'm not gonna lie, dude, seasonings they can run your pockets for real. So, but the thing is, that's like one time for a long time. Seasonings genuinely do last. For me personally, seasonings last months at a time, months. But if you're like an avid avocado toast eater or something like that, then maybe it will, go down and run through your you run through it in maybe 2 weeks. But that's still much slower than any lunch meat and bread and stuff like that, right? Now obviously toast includes bread, but how much pieces of bread is on the toast versus a sandwich? One piece versus two. So you're saving half. So right then and there, it's really good. So that's just proof number one that you can get a multitude of good things before you get a bad thing and be financially and like body wise healthier and wallet healthier. Now the next thing is going to be hard because I'm just going to be talking about snacks like the honey bun packages, the cosmic brownie, things like that. And then obviously like the sodas, the drinks, you know what I mean, things of that nature. These things literally harm you, and they have no good value. And honestly, juice like Minute Maid, bro, don't touch that stuff, bro. Because at the end of the day, that ain't even juice. If you look, it literally will say anywhere from 5 to even 0% juice added. It's just completely a concoction. That's why it's called Minute Maid. There's no such thing as a fruit called Minute Maid. Juice comes from fruit. Where else would juice come from? But I mean, it's cheap and it's tasty. But honestly, I never really liked Minute Maid too much, even as a kid, because it always gives me that nasty, slimy feeling in the back of my throat. This same thing as Kool-Aid, but at least Kool-Aid tasted better. So that's one thing that I say you should throw out. You know what I mean? All the snacks, all the drinks, and stuff like that. I mean, obviously, I still my guilty pleasure is graham crackers at the moment. I just don't know why. It's just satisfying. I get some milk, which is really something I have to. I don't mess with it anymore, but still, every now and again I do. So I guess I'm on. What I'm trying to say though is that that's my guilty pleasure personally. Honey buns and super sweets like brownies and stuff. I used to love them so much, but it's just not good for me and it's not good for my wallet. So I actually ended up tossing them to the curb, and I'm not sure. So the next thing is pork as an entirety. Now, pork is obviously one of the cheaper versions of meat that you can eat, but at the end of the day, this stuff literally has no redeeming quality about it whatsoever other than protein. You can get protein from so many other sources. Like if you eat meat in general, of course, beef. That's obviously a healthier alternative. But if you have like diabetes and gout, like because my grandma actually had both once upon a time. She still had diabetes and she's trying to manage it, and she can't even eat beef either. But chicken is pretty much the cheapest and healthiest form of meat protein as far as I'm concerned that I know of. But at the end of the day, I'm the kind of person who does understand like, hey, it's really not healthy. It's healthy to a degree, and for some people it works. But this is the funny thing: no matter who you are, literally it ends up not working out for you. Because I know there's this one dude who I had as a Uber driver one time, and we just got to talking about health and stuff. He said, yeah, dude, I can't even eat burgers anymore. It's like just one day, I just didn't feel good, made me sick, and then I went to my doctor, and he was like tested his body and I don't know, his microbiome, I don't even know. But his doctor literally said, yeah, man, you can't eat beef anymore. So the thing is, this kind of stuff really kind of hits all of us, and no matter what, as we age, our bodies get older, and it's harder to do things. So that's why a lot of people say, hey, man, eat those hot fries while you're young, eat that spicy food while you're young, eat that junk food while you're young, because when you get older, you just literally can't do it, or else you're just risking your actual life. And it's crazy to say that because at the end of the day, yeah, of course I agree. When I was young, I ate all the crap. But at the same time, now that I'm older, I'm 27, and I don't agree with that actually. And the simple fact is that if I were to not eat any of that ever, I wonder how much better off and healthier I'd be at this moment in time. Like I got a little belly. It's not like anything crazy, but it is something that I know that if I were to be eating healthier on a regular daily basis, then I wouldn't have the belly. There's just no reason for it. And it's just over here in America, a lot of people are just used to having that stomach and used to having that bad shape. You know what I mean? And what I mean by bad shape, I just mean like literally a shape that doesn't give you health. And yeah, you start to chase and you linger behind when you get older because it's harder to lose weight because you don't have the human growth hormone anymore. You're not actually growing anymore. The only thing you can grow is muscle, and that's because if you work out, but you're not growing, as in you're not growing taller. You're not going through the process of aging up in the sense of getting taller, bigger, better muscles without even having to try. The only back when we were kids, all we had to do was literally eat in order to get bigger. But now, no, you have to eat in order to survive, and not just eat to survive, but eat to thrive. Because we can still thrive, but it's just easier as a kid. And I'm not gonna lie, I gotta appreciate it. Man, when I was doing this run right here, I impressed the heck out of myself. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's dang near perfect. I'm starting to master this game a little bit. But anywho, yeah, so it's just one of those things. I say, man, get away from pork, period. Because even though it is cheaper, it's like if you're gonna eat meat in general, man, I would literally say go with chicken. And I understand a lot of people just eat whatever they want, but this is just for those people who are actually listening and being like, hey, you know what, man? Maybe he has a point. Maybe I want to hear this. And I And I genuinely believe that the only reason pork tastes as good as it does is because they are bottom feeders. Kind of the same way as shrimp. The only reason shrimp tastes good on its own is because it eats everything. So whatever is encompassing in everything, there's something in that diet that's giving them a natural flavor. But the unfortunate part about that is whatever that something is, it's literally just trash. Like they are literally eating plastic honey bun wrappers with a little bit of the icing attached to it, and they're just converting that into some type of flavor that makes their meat a little bit sweeter than the others. But beef, cows, they just eat grass. So that no one, you got to put the spice, the seasonings, and all that stuff on it because it just tastes a little. It's just plain. It just tastes like meat in meat. But pigs and shellfish actually taste good on their own. You don't even need a whole lot of seasoning. But if you put more seasoning, then you might actually overdo it. But that's just my little thought process on that. And here's the thing that no one wants to hear, but at the end of the day, the reason why it's cheaper to eat healthier than it is to eat whatever you want is because there's going to be times to where you want to eat whatever you want, obviously, which is every day, and you're going to do that. But the thing is, what you're not going to do, what you're also going to do is there's going to be times where you want to eat healthy too. So you're going to go out of your way to buy the good stuff, bananas, apples, oranges, and stuff, berries, all that stuff. But the thing is, you're spending your money on both sides of the spectrum. So you're literally buying everything instead of sticking to a side and buying one side of the items of the aisle. So if you were to literally only buy the fruits, veggies, and tree nuts and stuff like that, beans, all that stuff, then okay, then you're going to actually save money because you're already preparing yourself to only stick in one category, and in that one category you're going to thrive. In that one category you're not going to be hungry all the time, and you're going to literally eat less. So that's the big thing I was getting to. You're going to literally eat less. And a lot of people don't like to eat less because for a lot of people, like myself included, eating is like a stress response. So whenever I'm stressed out, I might get some food. Whenever I'm working too hard at work, I'm getting stressed out because I'm doing my job and two other people's job, and I just can't keep up, even though they're not being punished for their part. Then it's just like, okay, now I deserve something to eat. I deserve some joy, and that food is going to be my joy. So I'm going to get a burger with extra bacon on it, all that stuff because I deserve it because I worked hard for it. But then at the end of the day, even if that is true, it still doesn't actually help your body and it doesn't actually help your wallet. So it's literally something that's just not going, it's a hindrance. It's literally a hindrance. There's no way around that. And that's all there is to it, unfortunately. Life ain't fair, man. Man, for like the past 5 years, I was literally like getting mad in my own head. I'm like, man, I wish that the unhealthy stuff was healthy, bro, because I could eat this stuff all day long and never get tired of it. Say like cereal, bro. That's a big thing to never eat again. There's no healthy cereal, bro. Now, at the end of the day, of course, that's a lie in a sense because there are cereal like Wheaties that have health. But the thing is, we don't actually need cereal to like be healthy. But for poor people, like genuinely poor people, only making like 725 and trying to support two kids and stuff like that, cereal might be something that you have to actually eat. But at the same time, it's really not. And what I mean by that is that cereal is fortified with vitamins, so there's a lot of vitamins in there, but it's fortified. So it's literally like sprayed on vitamins, and it's just something. Now it does help because it is an actual vitamin, but at the same time, it's not the whole real deal vitamin that comes from the food when you actually eat it. Bite into it. It's not a natural vitamin. So it is still vitamin B. So you're still getting vitamin B, but it's still harder because you're not gonna, if you're poor for real, you can't afford meat because meat does cost money. And that's why I say it's actually easier financially to eat healthier because within that you will not be buying meat because meat is expensive, bro. It doesn't matter what kind, and especially these days, bro. And man, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. I've been looking into messing with the stocks more than the food, bro. Because like I said in one of my other things, hey, if I'm gonna eat out, well, I have to spend that same amount of money and on a stock, because just as a punishment and a reward, because it's a punishment because now I have to pay double of what I'm paying to go out and eat. And then it's a reward, of course, because it's going to go up in value because people aren't going to stop eating meat. So I'm thinking like buy some Tyson stocks, Tyson chicken. I'm like, shoot, why not, dude? So with that being said, I end up doing that. I got like one stock and they pay dividends and I believe it's 3% a quarter. And the stock's like $60 last time I checked. So I'm like, hey, at 3% of 60 is not much, but it's something. And I'm actually going to get that money back if I were to just buy some bag of Tyson chicken for like $20. If I don't even know if that's how much it is these days, but for $20, then at the end of the day, I'm not getting that back. I'm not getting anything back, except for a bigger stomach. So yeah, this is a very health related episode if you can't tell. So that's all I'm going to be talking about here. At the end of the day, it's just real though. Do I make it? Do I make it? Please tell me I make it. Oh, that's so messed up. Oh. So I know a lot of people are already actually hip to this in general, but like at the end of the day, protein replacement is beans, honestly. And if you can, beans and rice, bro, beans and rice. That's actually that meal that it's not like the healthiest of the healthiest, but it's genuinely much healthier than meat in general because all the acidic blowback that you could have from the meat and stuff like that can actually really mess you up. And it just depends on who you are. But honest to God, it really doesn't. I've done a lot of research about this, and there's a lot of stuff that I'm not saying because I don't want to sound too controversial. But at the end of the day, research has been done, and it's been understood like what happens when you mess with certain things and foods. But yeah, so beans and rice is like one of those good things that you can mess with to get your protein. And then I believe beans have B vitamins. Now I'm not too certain about that, but obviously there's certain vitamins like B vitamins that people will be like, yeah, you gotta supplement for that kind of stuff. So B vitamins, you can find that in blueberries, but berries are obviously more expensive in general. But it's still something that just imagine spending $6 a day, $6 a day on some berries that will genuinely help you, make you eat less because they fill you up. But not only that they fill you up, but also they give you nutrition, and then they make it to where you don't have to buy more. So $6 a day, some berries, and then another $6 will get you like 7 apples. So you can get some berries and then an apple. And if you want like a whole lot of bananas have protein, they got magnesium, they got potassium, make your blood go through your body much easier, circulation, all that good stuff. And then all of these things have water in them, like a whole lot, like literally like 80% or more, except for bananas. Bananas are like 50% water, but for the simple fact that they have so much water, then you can actually drink less water in the day. So if you're the kind of person who buys a lot of bottled water, you won't have to buy so much. Now that kind of savings is a little bit negligible, but it is savings. Bottled water is like the lowest amount that you spend for a 24 pack is about $5. Obviously 24 packs gonna last you a while, but if you're one of those people who's like drinking relentlessly and always drinking water, then that might actually be a sign that you need you might have potentially have diabetes. I don't know about all that. I'm not a doctor, but that's just one of those things that you don't want to make that mistake. But and then another thing, if you got insurance, just go to the doctor, man. Go to the hospital and get your stuff checked out. I'm one of those guys who really doesn't believe in medicine at all, like at all. I used to mess with the Tylenol back in the day when I was a kid. Whenever I was sick, I had to take the Tylenol and stuff, and it was a thing that I did because it. But what I learned basically is that medicine hurts your kidneys and your livers no matter what, because that kind of stuff, medicine, that's the stuff that's in there that it makes up the medicine is toxic, literally toxic. And your liver, literally everything that you put in your mouth goes through your liver at one point, because your liver has to convert it, like vitamin A has to convert vitamin A to like vitamin A squared basically. Now that's not literally the term, but it pretty much explains what it actually does. So in order for your cells to be able to use the vitamins that you eat, your liver has to convert it into something else. And since anything that goes in your mouth has to go to the liver, whenever you mess with like medicine, that stuff's not natural. So it's not because it's not natural, because volcano lava is natural. You can't put that in your mouth. But what I'm saying is that if it's something that was designed for the human body, then you're all good. If it's something that wasn't designed for the human body, then you're not all good. So what I'm saying is that if you take medicine, something that is man-made, and it does impact your liver in a negative way. Now, obviously, it can get rid of the symptoms of whatever you're going through, like a common cold and stuff like that, and that's cool. But not really, though, because if you're coughing a lot, that means you need to get rid of something. You don't want to take medicine to like stop coughing and then get rid of nothing and then actually end up getting worse. Anytime that I stop taking medicine, I end up getting better sooner. So nowadays, when I get a cold, bro, it used to last me for like 4 days to a week. These days, it lasts me 2 days. And if it's any more than that, then that means I have a flu. That's not a cold anymore. So like a little cold will literally, I can get over it in one day. Like I can sleep. So what usually happens for me is I get this itch in the back of my throat that just doesn't seem to go away no matter how much water I drink. And that's how I know I'm about to get sick the next day. And every single time, almost, I wake up the next day and I'm not coughing, but like my throat is sore. And then I just be like, all right, time to overdose on fruits and vegetables and vitamin C and tea. And I just drink all the tea, get that dandelion tea because that helps your liver and your kidneys get filtered, all that stuff. I eat apples, I eat oranges, I take vitamin C supplements. I just do anything and everything I can, literally, so that I can just get better ASAP. And a lot of the times I end up getting better the next day. Like literally the next day I wake up. Now there are times where I still need a little bit of the, next day when I wake up as well. And then the day after that is when I'm completely fine. But for the most part, that's how it goes for me. But man, I think that's really it for this video. I pretty much touched on some stuff, and I'm really just begging you guys to be more healthy. So I really, appreciate you guys listening up and stuff like that. So hey, thank you for watching, guys. If you have any comments, concerns, and you want to talk about what stuff, if you want to, talk about more of this, then feel free to comment and talk to me. Because I am here. My brain, I do have a big brain. I'm not saying I'm the smartest guy, obviously, but I did do some research, and that research shows to prove itself true often. Um, I will say, the guy I learned from the most was Yaki Awaken. His YouTube has recently been shut down, and his Twitter has recently been shut down against his will, and that's because he spreads information that a lot of people do not like. A lot of people who take his advice love it, like me, but the people who stand to profit from people not having the actual knowledge that can help themselves, they don't like that, bro. So that being said, man, this video might get taken down, to be honest. So if it's still up, man, congrats to me and congrats to you for maybe learning something from this. All right, peace out, y'all. Hope you guys have a great day.